Oh, I'm sorry about that. That's so interesting. Projects don't collapse overnight. They collapse slowly, silently, through unclear expectation, private decisions, weak communication, and leadership that avoids the truth until it becomes an actual crisis. What looks like a project failure on the surface is usually a series of ignored warning underneath. Warning, warning. And most people never even see the real reason when things go wrong, but project managers do, because we live inside the fire. I remember so vividly, I once got this generic calendar invite for a new project kickoff, and I walked in thinking it was day one. But within minutes, I realized something was off. Everyone looked exhausted, frustrated, and already behind, if I'm going to be honest. Therefore, I started digging for the paper trail, the project charter, the kickoff deck, requirements, anything to help me understand what I literally just walked into. But there was nothing, no documentation, no alignment, just a room full of people quietly hoping and praying someone else would take the blame. Therefore, I went straight to leadership to reset the expectation, family, because frustration comes from the lack of understanding what the expectations is. So I went to get clarity, but the response I got was the one line that every PM dreads or even wants to hear. Everything is already in motion. Just manage it. Therefore, I was stuck leading a project that had already been damaged before I even arrived. And in that moment, it hit me. You can't manage what you don't understand. You can't even protect your work you weren't even given a chance to learn. You can't even lead when you're joining after the fall. That moment taught me a hard truth about this industry, about this thing that I love, that I hope you fall in love with, called project management. Sometimes you won't always be set up to lead, but you are always held responsible for the outcome. And that's the exact moment where project management starts to go wrong. Therefore, I had to evolve. I had to build a new way to survive and succeed inside broken situations. I like that. And in today's episode, I'm going to unpack 8 principles that reveal how projects really truly fall apart and how real project managers pull them all back together. Principle number 1. If the PM doesn't understand the work, they can't protect the work. See, when a PM isn't given clarity, authority, or a proper handoff, they are forced to lead from the sidelines instead of being in front. Most of their time goes into chasing information instead of guiding delivery. Even the most influential, the most credible, the most amazing PM. Okay, I put some extras on there, family. But the point I'm trying to say is a PM can't succeed if the foundation is cracked before they even arrive. I like that. Projects fall apart early when the PM starts on defense without setup. Every decision becomes reactive instead of strategic. And a PM who isn't set up to lead becomes the first person blamed when things start to slip. Experiment with these actionable tips. Request a formal project reset when you inherit chaos, and reform the goals, the scope, the owners, and the timeline. Next one, clarify your authority on day one so you know what you own, the influence, and how you have to escalate. Let me give you my professional advice here, family. Never accept leadership of a project without the conditions to actually lead it. What I mean by that is that you want to make sure that you have to condition your mindset to know this is where it's at, and I can't allow my feelings to get in the way of where I need to take this project. Because if I do, I'm going to start pointing at everything that is wrong and not focusing on what are the pieces that are right that we can build on. I like that, family. See, once you are set up properly, the next thing you'll discover is the setup alone won't save your project if the team refuses to talk. Principle number 2. You can't fix a team that won't communicate. This is starting to get good to me. See, family, because silence on a project isn't calm. It's a warning. When teams avoid speaking up, risk high, assumptions grow, and the truth, we already know, it arrives too late. It shows up when it should have been there early. See, projects crumble when communication breaks before anyone can understand what the deliverable actually was. Why is this important? Most failures aren't technical. They're relational. This is why I said If anything you want to practice or learn in this thing that I love, I hope you fall in love with, called project management, is the ability to start falling in love with people, start understanding people, how they tick, start understanding just how you can influence people. This is why you want to read books on sales and read books on personalities and things of that nature. But I'll digress. See, you can't solve problems you don't know about. And teams can't work together if they're operating in separate realities, AKA silos. Communication is the fuel that keeps delivering moving forward. Experiment with these actionable tips. Open every meeting with, hey, what's blocking you? And just sit back and wait for answers. Next one, ask follow-up questions until you get clarity, not comfort. This is something, family, that through my career, I've had to learn and build upon, of asking questions, but not the question so I feel comfortable, but I'm trying to get clarity. See, clarity will give me an opportunity to ask better questions. Okay. Here's my professional advice. Quiet rooms cost more than loud ones. Noise, you can manage. Silence, you can't. This is getting good, fam. I hope you enjoy yourself today. See, because even with communication, everything falls apart if expectations weren't set from the very beginning. Principle number 3, expectations not set up front becomes expectations you regret later. I hope you're enjoying this, family. This is good. Because see, a lot of times we don't talk about the other side of this thing called project management. See, what tends to happen is if expectations aren't defined early, people start creating their own version of what this project should look like. And that version rarely actually matches reality. See, misalignment at the start always becomes conflict at the end. Why is this important? Unchecked expectations lead to scope creep, frustration. And one of the things that frustrates me the most, that we're all victim to, is finger pointing. See, teams waste weeks doing the wrong work because no one agreed on what the finished product is. This is why I love having that agile mindset, leveraging Scrum and all the different frameworks, because definition of done. But we'll save that for another episode. Experiment with these actionable tips. Define what the project is and not what is not in writing. Again, define what the project is and what is not in writing. Next one, confirm expectations in the meeting, not afterwards. Here's my professional advice, family. How you start determines how you finish. Clarity now prevents cleanup later. But even when expectations are actually set, they can actually be destroyed if side conversations start taking over. Principle number 4, side conversations are silent killers. See, when decisions happens in hallways, chats, private teams, the rest of the team keeps operating on outdated information. Side conversations create 2 projects. The one that's actually being discussed privately and the one everyone else thinks that you're delivering. Why is this important? This leads to rework, confusion, miscommunications, and miscommitments. No project can run smoothly when the truth is being scattered in all these different mediums of conversation. Experiment with these actual tips. Bring every offline decision back into the room and restate it on record. The next one, use written updates as a single source of truth to eliminate version of confusion. Here's my professional advice. If a decision isn't documented, it doesn't exist, because you know the motto here, family. Documentation beats what? Documentation beats conversation anytime. And nothing exposes side conversations faster than a PM hiding the real project status. Principle number 5, hiding the real status never ends well. See, when you sugarcoat the risk or mask problems, you're not protecting the project, or you're not even protecting your relationship. You're actually destroying trust. See, delaying the truth never reduces the impact. It just ensures the fallout is going to be bigger when it finally hits the fan. As they say, when it finally hits the fan, it's going to be all out in the open. Why is this important? Teams stay unprepared. Leadership, most important, they lose the visibility, the transparent visibility to really help the PM and help the team. And corrective action gets delayed. See, inaccurate status reporting is one of the fastest ways to lose credibility. Experiment with these actual tips. Switch from a that radical clear, green equals truth, yellow equals truth, red equals truth. You kind of get where I'm going. If you don't, ask me, send me a message and we'll talk more about it. Highlight blockers early, even if you don't have a solution yet. Here's my professional advice. Your job isn't to make the status comfortable, it's to make it accurate. And once the truth is out in the open, the next challenge becomes ownership. I love this, family. Deliverables collapse when no one actually owns the work. Principle number 6, a time without accountability becomes a team without ownership. See, when tasks are assigned to a team, no one feels responsible. Shared ownership often becomes no ownership and deadlines slip because everyone assumes someone else is handling it. Why is this important? Lack of accountability slows project down, increases rework, destroys momentum. Progress only happens when every deliverable has one and only one clear owner. Experiment with these actionable tips. Assign one owner per task or decision, no shared names. Next one, review owners weekly to maintain clarity and follow through. Here's my professional advice about all of this, family. Accountability isn't pressure. It is direction. Again, accountability is not pressure. It is direction. And the reason why I'm so big on this, family, is because a lot of times we want to avoid accountability because we feel it's pressure, but it's really, just to restate it again, it is true direction. You know what you're responsible for. You know what you're accountable for delivering. Okay, I'll get off my soapbox on that. But even with ownership, projects hit a wall when teams refuse to change direction. Principle number 7. Refusing to pivot is how projects burn time, money, and sanity. The teams often stay committed to a plan long after the plan stops making sense. Refusing to pivot turns small course corrections into a major setback and keeps bad work going longer than it should. Why is this even important? See, project lose months staying loyal to the wrong decision, the wrong direction, and a late pivot always costs more than an early one. If you want to look at the stats, here's the stat. It causes issue financially. It causes issues operationally. Matter of fact, forget the financial, forget the operational. What about the team? It causes emotional distress. Experiment with these actionable tips. Schedule pivot checkpoint every 6 to 8 weeks. Next one, reassess value. Is this still worth doing? Again, is this still worth doing? If the answer is no, let's stop so we can pivot. Here's my professional advice. Clinging to the original plan is often more dangerous than actually changing it. And I know what you're thinking. Even when we pivot, there's one final truth that decides whether the project wins or fails. Or let me remix that. How about succeeds or fails? Principle number 8, people remember what you tolerated, not what you announced. Oh, this is good, family. See, your standard isn't what you say. It's what you allow. If you let missed deadlines slide, if you ignore poor communication, if you avoid tough conversation, the team learns the real rules. Why is this important? Culture forms faster, and it forms from when your silence is more than your instructions. Oh, this is good, family. See, when you tolerate low performance, you quietly approve of it. Experiment with these actual tips. Address issues the first time, not the third. Set clear consequences for breaking commitments and follow through. Here's my professional advice. Your silence becomes the team's permission. And I know that with anything, project management isn't about tasks and timelines. It's about leadership. It's about courage. It's about having the clarity while still holding to the values and standards every single day. Here's the truth, fam. Every project will require you to show up for test day. Some will stretch you, and there will be some projects that will even test if you are breakable or not. Projects rarely fail in public. They fail quietly in the gaps no one talks about. This is why we talked about it today. This is why your leadership matters more than any tool, title, or artifact or template that you can think of. These 8 principles are not best practices. They are armor. They are clarity when everything around you is unclear. Your confidence when the room goes silent. Your protection when the project isn't set up for success, but you're still expected to deliver. You may not control the chaos you inherit, but you are absolutely in control of the truth you protect, and the standards you uphold, and the courage you bring, even when everything feels uncertain. When project management goes wrong, the real project managers don't step back, they step up. And now you have the blueprint to do exactly that. So if this message resonated with you, please share it with another project manager. Share it with a person that's thinking about getting in project management. If you're looking for mentorship or coaching, check the link in the episode and let's you and I get to work. And if you're new to the episode, I go by the name of ED. For all you smart and intelligent folks out there, that just simply means Ed. Until next time.